In this lesson, we're going to learn about order pairs and relations. This is a image of different type of a map, and imagine like 10 to 20 or 30 years ago, we use physical map to help us locate points if we want to travel to somewhere. And nowadays, we have cell phone, we have internet, we have laptop, so we usually use virtual map. We just download the app. But the function of the map is still the same. It helps us to figure out our destination and to help us to travel. In math, we have kind of a similar ideas, right? For the map, we call it coordinate system. It is the way to locate points, and it usually consists of two lines intersected at the origin. So let me draw these two lines. This is a vertical line. We give it a name, we call it y-axis. And we have an horizontal line. And we call it x-axis. You see there's open spaces right there. We call it coordinate plane. Coordinate plane. It just means the surface where we're gonna figure out the point and to really figure out the location of it. And you see there's a two line and they intersected at a point. And this point we call it the origin. And usually we have a different way to describe it. We use order pair to describe this point. Is the address, right? Is the location of this point. So whether it's a physical map or a virtual map, we need address in order to travel to our destination. So in coordinate system, we also need address, right? Which is this parenthesis right here. And we give it a new name. We call it order pairs. And it means the numbers used to locate the point. And it's just the same as just like an address, right? For the general form, it looks like that. We have a parenthesis and we have variable x and variable y. These two variables represent any number. So for x, it usually represent the x coordinates and it's the number on the x-axis. So any number on this horizontal line. And for this y represent y coordinate. And there are numbers on the y-axis. So any number on this vertical line. So because we have address right now, we can simply to find our destination, right? Why don't we do that? Why don't we just look at some questions to really feel how to look at the point? Right now we have a order pair, so 3 comma 2, and the general form is x comma y. So 3 is x coordinate, is the point on the horizontal line, and y represent 2 is the number on the y-axis, the vertical line. To draw or to locate the point, we gotta have a coordinate system which consists of a two line. So let me show you how to draw that. Firstly, we draw the vertical line. This is the y-axis. and draw a horizontal line. This is x-axis. And there's a point that the two lines meet together, and we call it origin. And the address for this point will be 0, 0. Now, we have the address and we have the map. Then what we're going to do is to locate the point. We always want to start from the origin, right? We start from the 0. And you see this is 3. It means we're going to move 3 units to the right, right? Let me show you. We start from 0 and we move 1, 2, 3. 3 units. But not done yet. We have number 2 on the y-axis, which means starting where we are right now and move 2 units up. So 1, 2. Then this point is our final destination, and the address is 3, 2. Let's look at another one. Now we have a ordered pair, which is a 5, 0. And usually and often we have to draw the coordinate system, the y-axis and the x-axis. And the point they intersected each other is the origin, and the address for the origin is 0, 0. So the x-coordinate is 5, which means we gotta move from the origin to the right 5 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's the point. But observe, the y-coordinate is 0. Let's say if y-coordinate is 1, so we gotta move 1 up, right? If that's 2, we're gonna move 2 unit up. But right now it's 0, so it doesn't move. So our final destination will be here. And we give it an address 5, 0. Okay. We've learned about how to graph it. We're gonna learn more about order pairs. And let's say I want to give you a order pair 1, 3. But what if I give you 2 more? I give you like 1, 4 and 2, 3. They are 2 set of order pairs. And we want to group it by using this grouping symbol. So we group it. These 3 order pairs group together and we call it relations. It means a set of order pairs, right? And you observe that the general form of order pair is x, y. So back into this set of order pairs, we have 1, and we have 2. They represent the x-coordinate, the number on the x-coordinates. But we want to give it a new name. We want to call it domain in this time. And shifting for the y-coordinate, we have number 3, we have a 4, and we have a 3. We want to give it a new name. We call it range. Just a new name to describe the same thing, kind of the same, right? We also have a different way to describe this whole thing. We use table method. So this is table method. Because it's called the table method, so we're gonna draw a table. So this is horizontal line and draw a vertical line. We want to use this table to describe the ordered pairs. So the general form, the form of the ordered pair is this xy. So why don't we just write these two variables? Imagine that this vertical line just like a comma to separate them. And because we have the table, why don't we put these three ordered pairs into this table? So the first order pair is 1, 3. So this is 1, this is 3. And second order pair is 1, 4. So this is 1, this is 4. The third one is 2 and 3. And we can tell directly the number or the numbers on the x coordinates. We give it a new name. We just learned, we call it domain. And the numbers on the y-axis or the y-coordinate, we give it a name, we call it range. So for table method, it's much more easier to tell. So with that, we can look at an example right here. It says, express the relation as a table. So this is the relation. We can tell we have this grouping symbol and we have more than one order pairs. So we call it relation. And when we want to transform this relation as a table, and we want to use table to describe it, and then to determine the domain and range, just like what we did for this table, right? So let's do that. We're first going to draw a table, the horizontal line and vertical line. And we always want to write the general form of the ordered pairs, which is x and y. Then just put these three ordered pairs into this table. We got 0, 0, and 1, 2, and 3, 7. Then we gotta determine the domain and range. So any number along the x coordinate, we call it domain. Because there's more than one number, so it's a set of a number. Because it's a set of number, we're gonna use a grouping symbol to group them. So this is 0 and 1 and 3. And for range, it's a set of a number along the y coordinate. So this is 0 and 2 and 7. So by constructing this table, we can directly tell our elements, right? The domain and range.